Health to open the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline. They provide information on vaccines, booster shots, and testing sites. Right now, booster shots are available to anyone over the age of 18 for those who are eligible. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline can also help with housing, food, medical, and educational support. If you or someone you know has questions about COVID-19, vaccinations, booster shots, or testing, please call 651-304-9986. Again, the number is 651-304-9986. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline is open for calls Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline at 651-304-9986.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lulia. Cloudy tonight with a low of 39, then clearing skies on Tuesday with a high of 57. Check out Cafe Latte's award-winning selections of soups, salads, sandwiches, and treats from the bakery made fresh daily. Cafe Latte, Victoria Street and Grand Avenue in St. Paul. CafeLatte.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Cody Cup, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Wendy, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Native Roots Trading Post, located at 700 Nicollet Mall in downtown Minneapolis, and we're on the first floor of the Dayton's building. Hey. We support Native arts.
Yes, we do. Hey, it's always fun to get going here because Wendy broke the headphones just before we went on, and we don't know what the heck's going on.
They were broken, look.
Okay, don't dangle them. I super glued those especially for you, and now you broke them. So set those down. And well, I was at the gatherings, Wendy.
The Gathering of Nations.
Yes.
In Albuquerque, Mexico.
Yes. And that was an unbelievable experience. There was 50,000 Native Americans there.
Wow.
They crowned Miss World Native American. We did a live shoot for another organization out there, and that's why I was there. Ogama helped in the background, and it was just a great experience. And I'm writing a book on my flying, though. It took me 12 hours to get home yesterday.
Yeah, you had a delay, and there was a
crash in the plane.
Well, it was a small fender bender.
Yeah, but you got to bring the feds in.
Yeah, even with a little fender bender.
So they couldn't move anything, and so it was a big deal.
Yeah, you were delayed. And
then they said our flight was gone, but that's crazy. But hey, today we're going to have, of course, Dr. Stately on, and then Wendy, Ruth Buffalo, who's now Dr. Ruth and Buffalo. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're excited to have her on. But before we get any further here, we want to get to our news here. And I don't know if it's always see you later, Wendy. It's never goodbye. You know, natives never say goodbye. We say see you later. And we have Gina, and we're all going to cry and have a group hug after this because she stepped in for Ogama, and Ogama, it appears, will be coming back, you know, and I've talked to her today, and we're excited to have her back. And she's in the background right now, probably feeding her baby, but as you can see, the the stuff's popping up and things are happening like they weren't when she was gone. So we appreciate her coming back. And Gina, we really, really appreciated all you've done for us and the news that you've done. And it's not goodbye, because we don't say goodbye on our way. It's see you later. And you've always been a good guest too. So we'll have you on a lot too. And then maybe even more.
Yeah,
So,
we say Hajuoni.
oh, welcome, Gina.
Hey, you guys. Hey, Robert and Wendy. I really enjoyed this time being on your guys' show. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to help out. And like I said, this is what community looks like. You know, I told Ogama, take as much time as you need to spend with your baby. And I'm grateful I had the time to help out. So you guys, thank you so much for being amazing. And hello, everyone out there. I'm Gina Peltier, and I'm here to bring you some news today. So as I get to it, Honor the Earth is having more informational town halls regarding the Huber Mill. It's a toxic wood processing plant that will cause damaging deforestation to Chippewa National Forest and surrounding areas, and will cause pollution that could cause acid rain and long-term damaging effects to Minnesota's fragile ecosystem. Saturday, May 14th, Annie Humphrey is going to be joined by David Huckfield at the State Theater in Ely, Minnesota, 238 East Sheridan Street in Ely, Minnesota, and that's going to be starting at 6 p.m. So please join them in a conversation about the devastating effects on the Huber Mill. Again, that's Saturday, May 14th in Ely, Minnesota at the State Theater, which is 238 East Sheridan Street. And then on Sunday, May 15th at noon, Annie Humphrey will be hosting another Huber Informational Town Hall at the S Lake Community Center on Leech Lake Reservation, 59979 County Road 4 in Minnesota. Again, Annie will be talking about the devastational effects, and that's going to be starting on noon on Sunday on May 15th. And then Winona LaDuke and David Huckfield are going to join Annie Humphrey in Duluth, Minnesota, Wednesday, May 18th at the West Theater, 319th North Central Avenue. And not only will there be a Huber Mill Town Hall, but there will be a performance by David and Annie. So doors open at 6:30, and people are asking them to join them to just have a nice conversation about what's going on to get all the correct information. Honor the Earth's mission is to create awareness and support for Native environmental issues and to develop needed financial and political resources for the survival of sustainable Native communities. All these events are free, and we strongly encourage you to attend. So please visit Honor the Earth's Facebook and social media and website to learn more on how you can help. Another environmental disaster that we need to know about. An extremely significant hearing is taking place this week, May 3rd to the 5th, on the proposed polymet sulfide mine. The Fond du Lac Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa, has formally objected to the federal Section 404 wetlands destruction permit issued to polymet by U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The band has provided scientific evidence that shows that, if built, the polymet mine would violate the band's water quality standards by increasing the levels of mercury and sulfate in the St. Louis River. This is a first of its kind hearing, both in terms of the polymet cases and in terms of a tribe's right to object to a Clean Water Act permit under this section of law. The band has been resolute in demanding their sovereign rights to be upheld in the polymet matter, and like the various state permits, this federal permit was issued over the band's sustained objections. The hearing is a pivotal moment at the band's effort to protect its members and water. The public will have the ability to participate in this hearing either by telephone on May 5th or by submitting a written comment within 30 days after the hearing. After the hearing comment period, the Corps will decide if the Section 404 permit will be revoked. And the hearing will most importantly be about the band's objection to the polymet wetlands permit and the science that supports the objection. So community is encouraged to view the proceedings on May 3rd and 4th to learn about the issues in more detail. And you can observe the hearing live stream on YouTube on on the 3rd and 4th, and on May 5th from 4 to 9 p.m. Central, the public may comment by telephone. The lines will be open 5 minutes before 4 p.m. and the phone number is 888-251-2949 and the access code is 9646123#. Again, the phone number is 888-251-2949 and the access code is 9646123#. The United States Army Corps of Engineers will also accept written comments from the public for 30 days after the hearing. The written comment period ends on June 6. Also, keep a lookout for the Drop the Charges court support events. Over 400 Line 3 water protectors are still going through the court system facing charges incurred while defending everyone's clean water and navigating the courts. So the Line 3 Legal Defense Fund provides support to these people facing arrest, and we ask you to visit the line3legalfund.com to learn more. And please take action, not just May 5th, but every day. May 5th is National Missing and Murdered Native Women and Girls Awareness Day, a time when the Indigenous community and our allies wear red and gather to remember, honor, and give voice to the women of those stories who have not heard. So Native American women are murdered and sexually assaulted at 10 times the national average. Murder is the 3rd leading cause of death for Native women, and 90% of these women are victims of non-Native perpetrators. And it's not just the women, it's also men. So please take a look on May 5th, and not just May 5th, but every day, to bring awareness to this issue. And again, Robert and Wendy, thank you so much for giving me this time to spread the good news. I really appreciate it.
Gina, you're great. Free Leonard Peltier, Gina Peltier, stepping in for Ogama all these months. Thank you so much. We'll be right back with Dr. Ruth and Buffalo.
Stay with us.
J&S Bean Factory is a Native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Unwanted sexting or photos, inappropriate jokes, even tickling or wrestling can feel like a violation. Catcalling, cornering, or groping, getting them drunk or high for sex, recording sexual acts without permission, hurting someone because of their sexual orientation, raping a family member, a child, a date, a friend, a stranger, purchasing a human being for sex. You make the choice every single time. Sexual violence is many things. Make a choice. Do not do it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, Ogama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Even though things are getting better, COVID-19 is still around and a threat to our public health. To best protect yourself, make sure you continue to wear masks in high-traffic areas like concerts, sporting events, or crowded indoor buildings. Wearing masks can help prevent severe illness and reduce the strain on our hospitals and healthcare workers. Wear a mask with the best fit, protection, and comfort for you. This message is brought to you by the Native American Community Clinic. Find more COVID information by calling 651-304-9986.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by MN350, a grassroots organization fighting for climate justice.
Well, we're always super pumped to have Representative Ruth Buffalo on, and really pumped because we got a few things to talk about. But I want to first say congratulations and what an honor that you went through this weekend as a commencement speaker and an honorary degree. You are a doctor now, right? Welcome, Ruth.
Thank you, Madzigadadz. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to come back and visit with you.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your experience. There were so many people at graduation. Tell us where it was and how it was, and then we can talk a little bit about a couple other things coming up this week.
Graduation for Concordia was yesterday. Concordia College in Moorhead, Minnesota. I was the commencement speaker, and I had a lot of family and friends in town, so it was nice. I enjoyed having 3 sets of twins in one place at the same time. So.
Wow. Tell us a little more about that.
And the ages of the twins. I'm curious.
Yes.
So we have 2 7-year-olds, a boy and a girl, and then the other 2 sets of twins are all 3. So we have 4 3-year-old twins. One pair or set is 2 boys, so my nephews, and then the other set are my grandchildren, a boy and a girl.
Wow, that must be fun to get together with all those kids. Wow,
we were I think, when was it? January, for my 2 oldest children, we were in Prairie Island, and so I have a relative, first cousin that lives in Rochester, and so she was able to meet us. We met up at Prairie Island, and so a lot of people were joking with us and saying, is there a twin convention in town?
Yeah. Well, you've met our twins a few years ago at the MMIW March. That was exciting. Yeah. So Ruth, happy American Indian Month to you. The big kickoff here in the Twin Cities. But I know, I hope I don't know if you feel the same way with me, but it's always an Indian month for me.
Yes, every month, every day, every hour. Definitely.
Definitely. Well, and we also have what's coming up here on the 5th, which is a huge day for us of gathering and speaking. The May 5th, and I don't know where you're going to be, but I know you've been here in the cities prior years. Very big day for us.
Yes, it's the National Day of Awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous women. And so there's a lot of actions calling for justice throughout Turtle Island. And here locally in North Dakota, there's a few different events taking place in the Bismarck-Mandan area. There's an unveiling of a sculpture made by a very distinguished artist. I'm drawing a blank right now. Kathy Whitman, I believe, is working with Sacred Pipe Resource Center to unveil a art sculpture for MMIW. Also here in Fargo Moorhead area, we will have a march and a walk and a march. And then Grand Forks at the University of North Dakota, there's also student organizations hosting events for the day. But across North Dakota, I know there's more events taking place. There's also a water ceremony in Twin Buttes on May 5th as well. So lots going on. Definitely a heavy day, but also a lot of calls to action. So that's also a good thing.
Right. And, people that haven't listened to us because, we're in different markets now, Ruth, the Savannah story that you still deal with every day you drive by. I wonder if you could just talk a little bit about that, because it was national news a few years ago, but it should be brought up all the time.
Yes, here in Fargo, in August of 2017, a young Indigenous mother went missing, later found in the Red River Valley, or Red River. We are in the Red River Valley here in the Fargo-Moorhead area. She was 8 months along in her pregnancy, and she was murdered by a couple that were living upstairs in her parents' apartment building. So she was murdered for her baby. Her baby is alive and well and spends a lot of time with Savannah's parents.
Yeah. And it's sad too, because you were really involved in looking for her, and it really hit your heart. And now you do drive by almost daily where she was found. Is that correct?
So there was a collective of us who helped with the search. A lot of us were women and mothers, and so we formed a local task force out of necessity because we didn't want to waste time convincing law enforcement, should this happen again, that we need rapid response for our loved ones. Seeing how things played out in Savannah's case, and no parents and no human being should have to go through that ever. But yeah, I drive by where she is laid to rest, so to speak, the cemetery. Drive by that on a daily basis. So it's a constant reminder and a gut check, to see what are we doing to make an impact on Savannah's behalf or to prevent further tragedies from happening. So yeah, it's a constant reminder to make sure that we're doing all we can to keep her memory, her name, her legacy alive.
I don't know if you can see, we had something up there. There's Amber Alert for a Native person, young 5-year-old Frank Young, missing from Red Earth First Nation and Canada, it looks like, Saskatchewan. This just happens way too often, and I was interviewed today by a college student, and this is one of the things that they asked me if I wanted to end with about anything, and this is what I talked about: is that the marginalization of Native women, of we're dinosaurs, and all these things that we're still human beings, and it's hard for me sometimes to see Amber Alerts for other races, like white women with blonde hair and blue eyes, that's on the news every day, and then we're so marginalized. So it's really important for me to have somebody like you speak the truth of what you went through in what's going on all around on Turtle Island, especially when 1 out of 3 of our women are sexually abused.
Yes, I know we're just coming off of April. I mean, there's so many different observances per month, but we were involved specifically with First Nations Women's Alliance, raising awareness for sexual assault and standing against sexual assault. And so we actually just had a live Zoom on Facebook stream. So if you check out First Nations Women's Alliance, their Facebook page, they are based out of Devil's Lake, North Dakota, but we just had Chris Starks on. It was an evening with Chris Starks, and she read, different paragraphs and things from her book called Carnival Lights. Chris and I were in a cohort, the same cohort together, that was focusing on human trafficking prevention. So she's an amazing human being that we just all love.
Totally. Ruth, before I let you go, we got 2 minutes here. I would like you, because it's that time of season and we rock the boat Native style here on Native Roots Radio. Plus we have a show coming up that will be called Rock the Boat Native Style. I want you to be able to give out your Facebook page and your website about donating to you, because I know people all over the country that listen to this show really respect and like what you do in a good way. So let's get some support to you, Ruth.
Sure. If you go to ruth4nd.com, that will connect you to all the different social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. My handle is at Ruth4ND for Instagram and Twitter. For Facebook, it's Ruth Buffalo 4ND. I do now have a TikTok account that I haven't yet posted a video on. I did reach out to Representative Christina Haswood for guidance, and so she's very helpful, but I still haven't taken the plunge into creating a video on TikTok. But same handle there, at Ruth4ND.
That's perfect. Yeah, I'm struggling with the TikTok. Wendy has a picture of the young person that's gone missing. Thank you, Wendy, for putting that up. Let me make the screen bigger, or just put you over here for a second. So there's the young person that's missing. Ruth, thank you so much for coming on as always, and all you do for our people and the great example that you are, Ruth. to our young ones too. That's especially what we have to look forward to, and doing a commencement speech and being real and being out there. Really appreciate you, and thank you so much for stopping in.
No problem. Thanks for having me. We'll see you.
All right. Hi, Zuoni. Wow. Wendy, Ruth Buffalo, as always, just amazing.
Wonderful.
Amazing. Great to have her on. Talk about.
I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on giving a commencement speech. I can't even imagine how long she must have worked on that. And I've heard so many wonderful ones, and I know that they must. I know if I was giving a commencement speech, it would take me months to prepare and to get ready and to practice.
Well, that means it would take me months because you'd be writing mine. Wow. All right. Hey, up next, Dr. Stately. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake.
Stay with us.
Hey, Wendy, what are we doing for dinner after the show?
How about we go to J. Selby's on 169 Victoria Street in St. Paul? They have a delicious plant-based menu that's compassionate and environmentally sustainable.
I'm getting their spot-on vegan Big Mac, the dirty secret.
You can pick up and they deliver within a 5-mile radius, or you can call them at 651-222-3263 or visit jselbys.com.
Well, you sold me, Wen. Let's go order at J. Selby's tonight.
I'm hungry.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
Minneapolis Public Schools have a variety of positions available to help you start your career in education, and they want to hire you. You can work in the classroom as a teacher or a classroom support, or you can work outside the classroom as a bus driver, in the Culinary Wellness Center, or as a custodian helping keep the building safe and sanitized. Multicultural candidates are strongly encouraged to apply. Start your career in education and apply today. jobs.minneapolis.k12.mn.us.
Hey, Minnesota, it's Brad Friedman, host of the Bradcast. We'll expose all the latest schemes, frauds, and more. Weeknights at 7 on AM 950.
Would you let animals pick your insurance? Do you really need to experience mayhem to get the best rates? Or how about a celebrity quarterback or fake university saving you money? There's a lot of marketing stunts when it comes to insurance, but what you really need is someone looking out for you. Call Array Insurance, and they will work hard to find you the best insurance coverage and rates. So avoid gimmicks and call Cheryl at Array, 763-504-3067 or arrayinsurance.com. Array Insurance, working hard for you.
Now, more than ever, we are being faced daily with the topic of human mortality, and for many people, estate planning has been top of mind. Getting your estate planning done now can be easy and cost-effective. Schroman Law offers virtual options for initial consultations so that new clients can safely initiate the process. With many facing uncertain financial situations, Schroman Law also offers affordable fees for legal documents. Learn more at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
We use technology every day to help manage our lives. Why not use it to help manage your medications? St. Paul Corner Drug offers several free tools to keep you on track while taking your medications. Use our mobile app to quickly order a refill, or the Meds on Q application, which turns your smartphone or tablet into your very own personal medication attendant. Email and text messaging options let you know when your medication is ready for pickup, making efficient use of your time. St. Paul Corner Drug, pharmacy the way it should be.
Are your remote workers putting your company at risk? Not sure what steps to take to secure your data? Hi, Mark Sommerfeld from Rymark. The Rymark team is guiding our clients through these difficult times. In fact, demand has been so high, we created an easy-to-follow guide with the 5 steps to securely work from home. It's yours free. Download our 5 steps to securely work from home now at rymarkit.com or call 651-328-8900 for a no-cost how-to discussion.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lulia. Cloudy tonight with a low of 39, then clearing skies on Tuesday with a high of 57.
At Warner Stellian, we know our customers are the only reason we get to continue our legacy as Minnesota's appliance specialist. Now through May 3rd, find a $50 thank you coupon at warnerstellian.com. You won't find these exclusive appliance discounts anywhere else.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
I have Dr. Stately's shirt on right now from the powwow. Hey, it's great. We have Dr. Stately, who is the CEO at the Native American Community Clinic. And as days and years go by, he's just a really great guy. Every time I run into him, we have a great conversation. And again, Wendy is yet to meet you. Welcome, Dr. Stately.
I know. I thought we were gonna try and do it sometime this week, but
Yeah.
not in the cards.
Get away and the weeks go by and things happen. How are you feeling? Last week when you were on, you were kind of recovering from pneumonia.
Yeah, I'm still I still got a little bit of lung stuff, It's kind of lingering. I think it's in a lingering phase. I'm still in prednisone. I'll probably be done with it in a couple days.
Oh, okay.
Well, happy Native American Month. As we were Representative Ruth Buffalo just before you got on, that every day and every night is and every morning's American Month for us. So,
my cousin said, they called me yesterday, like, are you going to celebrate American Indian Month? I said, I'm an Indian every day. Every day, every month, every year, I'm an Indian.
That's right. And I don't need no stinking month. It's good to be recognized. Say that again?
I said I'm going to take the whole damn year, not just the month.
Yeah. He got close to swearing again. Did you hear that, Wendy?
Almost.
I think isn't like a dam a body of water or something like that, or near a body of water?
It stops the body water. Hey, I don't know if you can see her, but Ogama is back and she's in the background. She's got
that.
Or you see that? Things are ready.
Finally, things are back to normal, and the technical stuff around here will be running smoothly.
Or smoother.
As we want.
Well,
Yeah,
just before
I asked her how her baby is, and her baby's doing great, which is good news, right?
Really cute.
Yeah, super cute. I still think they should have went with Roberta. I don't know, but I think I'll call her Bobby whenever I see her, the little girl.
It's like nothing nowhere near her name, right?
Not even close.
Shoot. I had a whole bunch of questions. I just have to tell you our struggle before the show came on is Wendy broke the headphones and we were scrambling, and now she's got the new nice headphones on, and
nice.
And here we are live. Always something, right, Wendy?
One of the ear things that go over your ear just snapped off the headset.
Oh, wow.
Right.
You could have like flipped your hair back really quickly and put it in a ponytail, and then like stood up and did a whole Madonna thing. Like,
Oh, could have did that.
Wow.
Next time.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't even think of that. That's great. So what do we got cooking here? I'm at an airport in LA. I saw you earlier today, and I don't know, was I whining, but I couldn't believe it. On the way to the gatherings of nation, I'd say there was 30% of the people wearing masks in the airport. And then 4 days later, there was like 5% wearing masks. I mean, wow.
Yeah. I think where you're at is like you have like you're seeing low circulation, or not low circulation, but lower than we've seen over the last several months, right? At least since December, early January, and human beings are forgetful, we think of ourselves as the most intelligent species on the planet, but our consistent behavior would figure otherwise, right? We tend to sort of like forget, like 3 months ago, oh, we were in the middle of this big, huge surge, and while in lots of communities in some parts of the country and other parts of the world, it's significantly out of control. And on the uptick, I mean, like, China, some areas in China like are completely shut down for months because they have, upwards of, 100, 200,000 cases per day, which is significantly greater than we have in the United States. But, it's sort of just, we tend not to think about those things. We tend to sort of like pay attention to the ongoing, saga of Ukraine, which is important. We should absolutely do that. But, there is room in our brains. We don't have reptilian brains. We have like pretty advanced brains. We should be able to hold more than 1 or 2 or 3 crises in our heads at one time.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, great point. I mean, it's been a long time that you and I and Wendy have even talked about your clinic and the service that you do. I think we should maybe do that today and switch her up.
I'd be happy to.
Be excited.
We are going strong, even 2.5, like it's almost been 2.5, almost 3 years since, we're like we're at the 2.5 year mark of this crisis, right? It's interesting because I was just reading this New York Times article. It was all about like, well, should we really call it a crisis? We're 2.5 years into this. It's like, well, I think that, a crisis is, I suppose, to a certain extent in the eye of the beholder, but it's also like when we see something of this magnitude that is like still a worldwide issue, right? When we see the situation in the world where like many of the developing countries outside of the United States, we also in the United States, we tend to think of we're a little United States centric. We tend to think like we're the biggest and the most important nation on the planet, right? And then we forget about everybody else, which is a significantly greater part of the population of the world. But there's a lot of people in developing countries, some not that far from us, some that still really have a lot of immigration happening here that have not been able to reach the levels of vaccination that we have been able to in our community and in our nation. And that's a really important thing to remember, because those people travel to those places and they come back and they will bring the next variants that kind of happen when those things happen. So it's kind of like, don't forget, like, don't pack away your masks and, don't pack away your masks and pull out the party dress just yet. Be a little bit sort of like, watchful, I think, is a really good place to stand.
And we forget we have not only do we have a short attention span, we have a bad memory too. And there was a few months ago we did a symposium Native Roots Radio did about COVID, and someone like yourself had it early on, and I forgot. You forget how crazy that was before a vaccination. It was our natives and older people were dying, and we couldn't figure out what was going on. And so we still have to be really aware. And I know Native American Community Clinic was in the forefront here in the Twin Cities about helping people. Also, when the vaccine came, you guys were pumping out the jabbing in the shoulder. I saw the late Clyde Belcourt get a shot one of the first days that you were able to get the elder shots. It's just been an amazing ride, I guess, is one way to put it.
Yeah. And I think that, the pandemic has had a great impact on healthcare all around the world. But one of the ways it's impacted us at NAC is that, we've had such high turnover in staff, right? And that's led to all kinds of things. It's led to, people needing to step up and step outside of their comfort zones in terms of like what they do at work. It's required people who haven't been trained to do certain things or to sort of like learn new things, learn new responsibilities and tasks. It's required all of us to work longer hours and stretch ourselves to the limit sometimes of feeling like we're going to break, right? And that's been a significant impact on the clinic. But one of the things that I think is interesting is, people talk a lot about the physical health and the sort of like the way that COVID shows up and has shown up in our communities and our lives in terms of our physical health, but we don't pay a lot and talk a lot about the impact that it's had on our spiritual life or our mental life, our emotional well-being, right? It's impacted so many kids and so many parents and so many families. The level of isolation, the level of sort of like inability to spend time together that in a meaningful way, it's disrupted so much of our daily patterns that it really has required us to develop new ways of managing stress and anxiety, managing the fear related to like not having enough resources to take care of something, to take care of one another, our families. There's in psychology speak, we talk about adjustment disorders, right? And we talk about post-traumatic stress disorder. And I think what we're seeing is a lot of people now who may have had stressful and life experiences that were creating some challenges for them, but layer a pandemic and all of the sort of things that have been challenges for them to deal with on top of that. We're now seeing a lot of people with anxiety, depression, adjustment disorders, and retriggering of trauma and those kinds of things. And I think that's going to be the new pandemic that that's like long COVID, we're going to be seeing the effects of that for years, decades, months.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Dr. Stately, do you have time for another segment with us?
Yes, of course.
Awesome. It's great. Always great, Wendy, talking to Dr. Stately and starting her week off right. I want to give a shout out to Nate, who's been popping in some really good information that we've been popping up. It's always great to have an interactive radio show here. We're on Facebook Live and on YouTube and all over Turtle Island. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be back with Dr. Stately.
Stay with us. Hey, Ogama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
If the statistics say that 1 in 3 Native women and 1 in 6 Native men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime, it means our whole community is affected by sexual violence. 1 is too many. Don't stand by, stand up. Don't engage in acts of sexual violence and shut down the dirty jokes, the gossip, the victim blaming and shaming. As a community, we can change the way we respond. Contact the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition to attend a workshop to learn more. Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Navigating COVID while protecting yourself can be difficult. Fortunately, there's a hotline you can call with any questions. The Department of Indian Work St. Paul partnered with the Minnesota Department of Health to open the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline. They provide information on vaccines, booster shots, and testing sites. Right now, booster shots are available to anyone over the age of 18 for those who are eligible. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline can also help with housing, food, medical, and educational support. If you or someone you know has questions about COVID-19, vaccinations, booster shots, or testing, please call 651-304-9986. Again, the number is 651-304-9986. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline is open for calls Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline at 651-304-9986.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Ogama
jumped on.
Hey, hi, Ogama.
Hi, Eddie and everybody. It's good to be back. I couldn't resist jumping on for the howl.
Back in the pack.
Back in the back, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been 2 months, Ogama. Do you have a question for Dr. Stately?
How are you guys doing at NAC now that you're getting all of those like regular check-in appointments and those kinds of things going back? Are a lot of people coming back for those? You're seeing people?
Yeah. We are seeing a significant uptick in our medical and our dental appointments. People are like coming back in to get their stuff taken care of, which is great. I think that's really important. I've talked on this show before about like, how the experience of having my beloved cousin Roxanne, who passed away 4 or 5 days after getting turned, finding out that she had metastatic liver cancer, and she had been diagnosed with cancer like several years ago, and it kind of went into remission after treatment. And the last few years she really didn't go and see the doctor. I don't think a lot of people went to see the doctor and get like their regular checkups and those kinds of things, their cancer screenings, their this, their that, the rudimentary things that we typically try to take care of and pay attention to, right, over the last 2.5 years. And she ended up in the hospital, and she had metastatic liver cancer, and she died within 4 or 5 days. And yeah, I hear pretty regularly these kinds of things where people find out they have a chronic health condition that spiraled out of control because they hadn't been seeing their regular primary care doctor for a while. And so I'm excited that people are coming back in to see their primary care doctor and getting their regular vaccines and their regular screenings. They're taking care of their diabetes and their hypertension and all those kinds of things that we sort of kind of glossed over the last 1.5 years or so because of the impact of the pandemic. And that's really important. We are a community that has some of the highest rates of very, very debilitating chronic diseases that easily can result in very high rates of disability and death if we don't take care of those things, right? So seeing people come in more regularly and taking care of their sort of like rudimentary care and their chronic conditions is a really inspiring thing. And I hope people are doing that wherever they go, not just at our clinic, but if you haven't seen your doctor in a couple of years, go see your primary care doctor and get all 4 wheels kicked and do some other stuff. Look under the hood.
Which reminds me, also great question, Ogama. Welcome back. Which also, Wendy just went to the dentist, and I have to go too, and it's been a couple years.
It's been like 1.5 years for me, and I'm usually like just to get my cleaning and checkup. I'm in every month. I go twice a year without any problems.
And I was every 3 months.
Yeah, you
for many years.
Yeah. So I mean, that's inspiring. Dental, absolutely go see your dentist. People don't tend to think about, so we talked about this last week.
Oh yeah.
Like people don't tend to think like, oh, well, the dentist isn't all that important. I'll just get dentures if I lose all my teeth. Well, it's like there's much more than that, and to worry about. It's like your oral health is really important because you have so many nerves, and you have so many pathways to your brain and also to your heart, like direct pathways, right? So you get an infection, you get something going on with an abscess tooth that you don't pay attention to, you can have some serious health conditions that will result in death, quite frankly. So it's like, make sure you're doing those things for yourself and for your children and the people you love, getting them in and getting those things taken care of on a regular basis. Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing that I'm glad we brought it up again for me, because I need to go to the dentist, and I was every 3-monther because I had some dental issues early on, like 10 years ago or
Yeah.
even longer ago, right? When?
Yeah, it's
Because
important.
these teeth I have right now are veneers.
Really? Are those John Wayne's teeth?
That's right. They're big chiclets now.
Made out of wood.
John Wayne's. Smoke signals are singing in the back of the bus. John Wayne's teeth. Remember that, Wendy?
Mhm.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, Robert, are they plastic or are they steel?
No, they're either plastic or I don't know. What do they make these out of?
Sure that they're made out of some type
The
of
veneers, yeah, like,
Yeah.
you know, they better made of a really good
enamel-like
material.
material.
You know,
Yeah.
my 4 or 5 front teeth are like all it's a bridge, you know, that I paid lots for, like $9,000 or something like that crazy.
Well, let me just be the first to tell you it was worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, thank God, yeah. Like toothless thing. So yeah.
It's
Exactly.
hard to whistle with missing one of those teeth.
It is.
We can't whistle at night though, but that's another show, another story.
And then one of the things that we were just talking about before the break is like, you know, I mean, in Ogama, you might see this in your own child. I don't know. I think she's school age, but there was a report that another national radio, something big that we will not say their name, but you know, they're pretty big, did a poll, and they partnered with another organization and did a national poll of parents, and 73 of American parents say that, you know, they believe that their children would benefit greatly from mental health counseling and mental health services, because they see how greatly their children are struggling with, you know, these last 2.5 years of COVID, significantly greater than the number of parents who said it last year, even, and a year ago in the same survey. So, you know, I think those are things that we want to take care of, because, you know, our physical health, our oral health, our emotional and spiritual health, all of those things, you know, that whole body, whole person care is really important for us, for our, you know, the quality of our life. We want to have, you know, what's the point in surviving something, you know, if you can't also have a rich life where you have good relationships, you can have, you know, you can live your life to the fullest. That requires you to sort of kind of pay attention to all those things, right? Pay attention to the food you eat, pay attention to your relationships, all those things. So
Yeah. Ogama, did you have a question? I saw your hand.
You know, I didn't have a question, but I just wanted to say, you know, I'll be the first parent to admit I did. I put my child in mental health counseling in COVID. She experienced the loss of a close relative. Unfortunately, it wasn't COVID related, but she lost her uncle, and I put her in counseling right away. And she's really benefited from it and talks about it often. She's a little bit behind on appointments. So we've just been so busy since the baby got here, and she's been asking me to go back. It's really helped her.
That's great.
Any kind of talking it out kind of a situation. I know I've talked a little bit about this, but being in AA and talking it out and hearing it come out of your mouth, and it's either not too big or big, or it should be bigger. You know, it gives you the perspective by just hearing it come out of your mouth into your own ears, right, Doctor?
yeah, I mean, I think we are a social animal. Human beings are. You know, we're designed in many ways. Not, you know, some people have a little bit of differences. They're not quite as social. They're a little bit more to themselves and those kinds of things. And so that it certainly looks differently for everyone, but we are designed to sort of be in communication and interact with one another, and to share our feelings, our emotions, the richness of our lives, this, you know, joys, sorrow, all those things. That's what makes life, that richness, that deep sort of like connection with people.
Wow. Dr. Stately, thank you so much. I want to give a quick shout out to Gina Peltier for stepping in for Ogama. Ogama, welcome back. Ruth Buffalo, State Representative, thank you for being on. And thank you, Dr. Stately, as always.
Free Leonard Peltier.
Home ownership is one of the biggest financial commitments most of us